Lawsuit dismissed. Restaurants can now stay open for indoor dining in Anne Arundel County following a courtroom battle over restrictions. Hello, everyone. I'm Nicole Baker.
And I'm Max McGee. The county executive made the decision just before a judge was set to rule. He says new projections show hospitals will be stressed but not overwhelmed.
Restaurants filed suit, believing they were being unfairly targeted. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren has been following this case from the very start. He is live for us in Anne Arundel County with new reaction tonight. Hey, Mike.
Hi, Nicole. Hi, Max. This case spawned other lawsuits, but this was ultimately the only one that was successful. It's worth noting that the dining ban never went into effect because the judge blocked it while he was considering what happened. Now, the hospitalization projections that the county feared never materialized. They were off by some 5,000 patients, but the county executive says he doesn't have any regrets, and neither does the restaurateur who brought the lawsuit.
We entered this to keep restaurants open. We didn't care whether it was a judge, a county executive, or anybody who was going to do that for us.
James King is relieved his court battle against Anne Arundel County to keep his restaurants open for indoor dining is over. But his victory is bittersweet. 25% capacity, he says, is still not enough.
I don't think any of us expect to be profitable in this year or in the next couple months. Our ultimate goal is to really stay alive.
County Executive Stuart Pittman abruptly changed his mind about a dining ban after testifying before Judge William Mulford, who chastised the county and said the dire hospital projections they used were flawed. Pittman issued a new order allowing indoor dining just hours before Mulford was set to rule in the case, which was then dismissed.
Let's not play any games here. Let's go ahead and do what we intended to do.
Pittman reserved the right to close down dining again if the COVID numbers surge, and King said he would consider fighting any new restrictions, but both sides hope it doesn't come down to that.
I'm an optimist. I think it's unlikely that we're going to be shutting them down and going back to curbside, and I'm more looking forward to getting them back to 50%.
I take the county executive at his word. He, expressed to me the willingness and desire to enter into a dialogue and continue to work together. I have no reason to believe that he doesn't want to do that.
The county executive still maintained today that eating in a restaurant is risky because you have to take off your mask. Now, among other things he did was cap delivery fees at 15%. He is also mandating that restaurants collect contact tracing information from those who are dining in their establishments. Reporting live in Anne Arundel County, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
All right, Mike, thank you. A dramatic spike in the number of new coronavirus cases here in Maryland. The state now reporting more than 2,600 new cases in the last 24 hours, along with 45 more deaths. We've just learned that a 14-year veteran of the Baltimore City Fire Department is one of the most recent victims of this virus. The 62-year-old was a 911 specialist. Meantime, a new strain of this virus now here in the United States. A Colorado man in his 20s is in isolation outside of Denver. This strain was first detected in the UK, but the governor of Colorado says his patient has no travel history. Governor Hogan says there haven't been any signs of it here in Maryland. He made comments on CBS this morning and says his team is very concerned because it is much more contagious.
We haven't had direct flights from Britain. British Airways was flying into Baltimore Washington International Airport, but it was suspended back in March. We've got some pretty serious travel restrictions, but there's no way to stop the virus from sneaking across.
Well, medical experts say it appears the new vaccine should be effective against this variant. Meantime, Governor Hogan also says every single hospital, nursing home, and local health department have received doses of the vaccine here in Maryland. Now they just need to be administered.
It's not just sticking needles in arms. There's a lot of moving parts, and I think nobody is quite performing at the top capacity, and we've all got to work together to ramp it up.
Well, according to federal and state government data, less than 1/5 of those vaccines allocated to Maryland have actually been used. Meantime, the TSA says more than 1 million people went through airport security checkpoints for the 4th day in a row yesterday. The spike in pandemic-era travel raises some public health concerns. Sunday was the single busiest day of the pandemic. That's when nearly 1.3 million people got screened.